Welcome to the first broadcast of
Redacted.
with your charismatic host.
Redacted.
There has been a couple bizarre happenings going on as of late and not much widespread coverage of it. I believe it to be my duty to help inform any who have yet to see or get caught up by the anomalous. For my first broadcast on air, I will be informing you of this bizarre specimen that has made the rounds on the local paper, a seeming cryptid of sorts which is believed to be responsible for the drastic increase of missing people as of late. Here, I got a file that seems to describe this thing in detail. Oh, and won't you just look at that? It has a neat little photograph on the top right. Now, upon further examination of this tiny little photograph, I can conclude that this being is indeed quite grotesque, to put it bluntly, that is. And from the looks of it, it seems to have a phallic appendage emanating from its midsection. Now, I wouldn't know of any mistress which would be apt to deal with or enjoy such a thing that long. Maybe a fellow would enjoy such endowment, but I digress. Now, back on the subject at hand, other notes on its weird appearance is that it seems to have some human remains that it seems to adorn on its body. Now, these do look a little bit like human skeleton remains, to be specific. And with this little photograph comes with a neat little paper explaining this creature more in detail. Now, let us turn to this file of this bizarre specimen. I will be reading the file word for word so you can make your own deductions on the information that is on it. I will also maybe provide some of my own opinions after I'm finished reading. Entity 1-096, colloquially named the Night Sucker. 1-096A doesn't seem to roll off the tongue quite so well, so I would just be calling it by the name the Night Sucker. A bit of a funny name for the creature that has been given, but probably originated from something to do with that massive appendage it has. Now let me continue. Threat level moderate. Body description: vague humanoid with elongated arms and short stubby legs, with an appendage with a sharp point at the end. Head is a human skull with pieces of flesh surrounding it. The hands and feet are comprised of fingers and parts of the foot from human bones. The bottom part of its torso has a human rib cage which conceals weird parts of flesh that can only be described as organs or something else. Its outer skin seems to be comprised of an oxidized soft tissue resembling that of a mammalian muscle tissue. It is unclear whether this entity has any organs that may have any meaningful function. On to the behavior. The Night Sucker displays no ability of sight. It has rough hearing ability and some other forms of prey detection reminiscent of that of mosquitoes. It can also vaguely sense vibrations emanating from the floor which help it locate prey. When not seeking prey, it will either stand still shaking for hours or start wandering aimlessly until it finds prey. It lacks the ability to vocalize or create noises. The only sounds it can make are a result of its fleshy body. It has no preference for the time of day. It cannot see light or dark, so it just wanders aimlessly. Feeding behavior. The Night Sucker feeds on any sizable living creature with blood inside of it. It cannot specifically target one prey at a time. It goes for anything it can sense and grab. How it knows what is acceptable prey and what isn't is largely debated. It feeds by holding its prey down and using its extra appendage to siphon blood from its prey into itself. After it is done, it leaves the corpse to rot. If prey escapes, it will then become very distressed and will frantically try and recapture its prey. Escaped prey does not seem affected unless sufficient blood was siphoned out. Prolonged time without blood does not seem to affect it at all, unlike normal animals which would starve without food. Interesting. Entity extermination notes. The Night Sucker's flesh is tough to cut and to pierce by conventional weaponry like knives or arrows. Guns prove very effective at damaging the creature. When taken sufficient damage, the creature collapses and is rendered motionless, presumably dead. Instances do not bleed when damaged. Instances shot and killed start melting away instead of rotting like a normal animal. Cutting of the blood-sucking appendage renders the creature unable to feed. If it tries to feed without the appendage, it will become very distressed and frantic, and it will start to destroy its environment indiscriminately. It does not target its prey when it's in this state. Instead, it mindlessly destroys anything around it in a fit of rage. If another creature is damaged or attacked, it is a mere coincidence, prey or not. If it is attacked, it will not respond unless it is pursuing prey, in which case it will be more frantic in its pursuit of the prey. If it has prey and is damaged, it will continue to try and feed no matter the damage. Further notes. It is unclear when this creature appeared or how it originated. Sightings and accounts of the creature suddenly happened alongside other anomalies. The name Night Sucker could be a result of many people seeing it during later times of the day. This could be because it follows cars during the day and gets run over frequently. Directly after feeding, the creature still shakes a lot and wanders. Frequent and excessive feeding helps stop the shaking, in which case it will just stand still. Well, that is it for the file. Very interesting and bizarre little fellow, I might add. To think it gets hit by cars is a bit of a ridiculous concept. But some things to note after reading is that the bugger seems quite apathetic when not feeding and very infantile when it is bothered. And it seems like that phallic extremity is actually useful after all, and not just an impressive display of endowment. Nothing too anomalous or crazy with this one, but still far from being properly examined and explained. Now, for this next section of the broadcast, I have found me a guest who has said they have seen this cryptid in person. So, here is the guest today. Hello,
Redacted.
You there?
Ah, yes, I'm here.
Good. I just wanted to ask what experiences you may have had with this specimen.
I was one afternoon outside on my lawn when suddenly I saw something weird out of the corner of my eye. It was this weird, slender, gorilla-like thing. It was just staring at me. I was scared and I fell backwards and it just started to approach me. I went inside and when I closed the door, the thing lunged. Heavy started fell on the floor. I only got up to just stand there. Soon I called the police. I explained the situation to the operator. The operator questioned whether what I was explaining, and then he just hung up. He probably believed it to be a well-orchestrated prank. The creature seemed to try to get inside, and I just couldn't figure out the door. After a while, it just remained there, either standing, there shaking, or just attempting to get in. Hours went by, I just kept checking on it again, just kept doing the same thing.
Did it ever leave?
Eventually, yes. Only when my next-door neighbor pulled up the park, he didn't chase his car, promptly in the driveway frightened. After this, I didn't see it again.
Well then, interesting to hear.
Redacted.
Glad to have you on. Well, this concludes this broadcast. Thank you all for listening and sharing a moment of your time. Make sure to like and subscribe before you turn off the radio so you can be informed about any further anomalies. This has been your charismatic host.
Redacted.
Godspeed to you all.